So, behind the camera, I'm recording this right after the POW video. Just changed my outfit. Hello, Emmet Ryan, and welcome to Ball in Europe. And today, well, we've been focusing on all of the teams in this run-up to the Final Four, and today it's the turn of Fenerbahce. Of course, the Turkish Giants, the only team to sweep in the playoffs, are back in the Final Four, back-to-back, under Sarunas Jasikevicius. And, well, they're confident this time. Like last year, it was great to get there. This year, they want it all. Can they? I believe so. And I'm going to tell you why I believe so in this video that we're doing right here, right now. But if you haven't already, please subscribe. It really does help and, you know, gets all the traffic, all those things YouTube likes, gets more people to see these videos and generally helps us out. So if you haven't already, do that. And of course, we have videos already up on Olympiacos, Monaco, Panathinaikos, other topics as well. And there's more coming in the run-up to the Final Four, which of course is coming up this Friday in Abu Dhabi. So yeah, let's get to it. So yeah, we are talking momentum. I mean, this is a side which has just really peaked at the right time. Like they've been very consistent all season long, and that's to be expected. But they have just managed to hit the form you want to be hitting at the time you want to hit it. So, you know, solid run into the end of the regular season, took on Paris in the playoffs and took care of business. Like this was one now, in fairness, most people are predicting a sweep. It wasn't a huge surprise, but still to do it, to be businesslike, to have by far and away the fewest headaches of anybody in the Final Four in terms of dealing with their playoff series, that is a huge plus and cannot be underestimated. And a lot of it comes down to just the raw consistency. Like this is a team which believes, which knows it has the guys that can get the jobs done. And it leans on them, it goes to them, and it trusts them. And, you know, that comes down to, like, you know, the depth, which we're going to get to in our next section. But fundamentally, this is a side which has sort of, you know, optimized its season to still, obviously, have been good throughout the campaign, but has managed to weather the storm with injuries, has managed to, you know, deal with the odd, unfortunate result here and there, like games they probably should have won. And when it comes down to the business end of the campaign, they're back, baby. Like they just, you know, got the job done very impressively against Paris. Now, say what you like about Paris's strength, their depth at that stage. Bottom line is they still made it to the playoffs. They won the play-in game to get to the playoffs. Like, you know, they earned their spot. And they, you know, still were not belonging on the same floor as Fenerbahce. And that is not a small feat for Fener to do. So when you look at sort of the timing, the momentum, just feeling the vibe, this is a side which is sort of taken what they did last year, not hung it up, but said, how can we do better? And obviously there were roster changes as well, but beyond the roster changes, it's like, well, how we do better is we lean into that consistency, we lean into those rotations, and we find a way to make it work. So now let's talk about the players who are making it work. Oh yeah, making it work. I read a business section called that as well in one of my other jobs. Isn't that gas? So yeah, like, the thing I've been shouting loudly throughout really the end of the regular season through to, you know, the postseason and into the Final Four has been that this is the side most capable of suffering an off night from its top guy or top guys. And the reason is it's always been able to find that other option. Like, obviously, Nigel Hayes-Davis is gloriously consistent, which helps. But, like, Wade Baldwin had his injury issues. They found ways to win without Wade. There's been the Scotty injury issue, obviously, as well. But then you look at other guys stepping up, like there's Marko Guduric, there's Tarek Beverovic, there is Nico Melli. Like, there's always a guy to step up. There's always someone there who says, don't worry, I got this. And I look at all, and it leads to the least panicked side, essentially, of the four in the Final Four. And I'm not saying that, like, you know, the other ones are like, you know, oh no, my house is on fire types. But the other ones seem to struggle more to adapt when the guy isn't getting it done as much as Fenerbahce. And obviously, these are, like, you know, wafer-thin measures. But Final Fours are often decided by wafer-thin measures. I mean, these are the four best teams in European basketball. What's between them is minor. It's tiny. And in the most balanced Final Four of my memory, that's an enormous, you know, thing to have going for you. Panathinaikos probably have more star power. Olympiacos, more star power and close enough to them in terms of being able to handle their top guys not performing. Monaco, the least pressure. There's an awful lot going for Fenerbahce here. And that's, you know, huge. So you look at this and you go, right, this is a team which has found a way to find its unique selling point when it comes to the Final Four. And its unique selling point is it can handle the bad days better than most because it has other guys who can have good days, has more of them, has that depth, and it can find a way to still win ugly. And sign of a champion, and all four of these have shown it this season, is win the games you're not supposed to win. Like, find ways to get those W's when things just aren't going your way. Fenerbahce have shown they can do that. That is an enormous plus. And a lot of that obviously comes down to the man on the sideline, Šarūnas Jasikevicius. Like, he has been able to bring that Saras mentality. And remember, he's been to the Final Four before in very different circumstances. He brought a wildly underrated Jasikevicius team to the Final Four. He brought a Barcelona team that was loaded to the Final Four. And he brought a Fenerbahce team that had to make history with the first road team to ever win a Game 5 in the playoffs to the Final Four. Now, he's been able to Sarasify for a full season this side, do his thing, get it all together, get it mentally together, and they've got the package he wants. They've got the combination of pieces. All the moving parts are where Šarūnas Jasikevicius wants them. That is nothing small. So let's look at what's ahead of them. So yeah, obviously rematch with Panathinaikos. It's a huge, huge ask, but I don't think they'll be overawed. And the one thing they were last year was overawed by the occasion. Like, for me, this is a coin toss game. I mean, I have all games in this Final Four as coin tosses, though, so it doesn't really say much. But, like, it is a coin toss game. And the reason being that counter move. Like, how Fener defend Kendrick Nunn. Like, I think an awful lot of what Fener's game is going to be will not be so much containing Nunn, but containing the tempo. As in, they will want to force the tempo to be on their terms much more than Panathinaikos. And once they can do that, they can do a lot more of their game. But the key thing as well is working out who's on that day and who's off. And one great thing Fenerbahce have been able to do throughout the season is quickly do it. Like, when Tarik Beverovic is on, it's kind of like there's flashing lights coming off him. Same goes for Guduric, same goes for Hayes Davis, and obviously Baldwin. Like, he's the last season and a half for him has been a big step forward, obviously. And you kind of go, right, okay, the guys are stepping up. They're showing that they can step up and when they can step up. But obviously the huge, huge challenge for Fenerbahce is they don't just have to beat Panathinaikos. If they beat Panathinaikos, 2 days later they're playing one of Monaco or Olympiacos. And they'll have the great Fener crowd with them. And if it's against Olympiacos, there'll be a great Oli crowd. If it's against Monaco, it'll basically be a Fener home game. Both of those present different dynamics. Like, Fener will be the slight underdog if they play Olympiacos and will be able to play from underneath. They'll be the favourite with lots of expectation if they play Monaco. And they'll have to sort of, be able to deal with that. But this is the thing. There's like 3 different flavours of pressure ahead of them here, including the first game, obviously, against Panathinaikos. And they look like a side able to, manage that buffet of pressure. Like, they have the pieces, they have the guys in play, where no matter what type of pressure comes upon them, they know what's needed on the day, at the time, to deliver. And in single elimination basketball, there's not much more you can ask for than that. Like, they have all the key tools. They have the key tools knowing what they need to do, and they have the guy on the sideline who can manage it about as well as anyone. Like, the one thing missing from Šarūnas Jasikevicius in what's still a very young coaching career is a EuroLeague trophy as a head coach. He's done everything else. He's gotten, this is like, Final Four number 5 or number 4? Like, he's been an extraordinary head coach, like, in a very, very young coaching career still, which I feel I need to overemphasize, but it is not a long coaching career he's had, and he's really delivered already throughout it. So, yeah, I'm very impressed by him. I think he's going to deliver. And it's going to be interesting to see how those steps forward coming on move along and what we see from them. So there's a lot to like here, because I think we're going to really enjoy this Final Four. And I think Fener fans are coming over. Last year, Berlin, they went with hope. I think in Abu Dhabi, they're coming with an expectation. And I think they've earned that level of expectation. And for me, that's a sign the season has gone the way it should go. And, they are going to Abu Dhabi and they expect to come back with a EuroLeague trophy. Now, there's 3 other fan bases think they will as well. And you can see my videos on them elsewhere on the channel. One of them will probably come up on the screen in not too long from now at all. But if you haven't, please subscribe. It really does help. Like, share, all those things, comment, tell your friends. And tell me why you think Fener will or won't win the EuroLeague title in Abu Dhabi in the comments below. And we'll keep this conversation going. Like, we have got so much content coming out between now and the start of the Final Four, never mind during the Final Four. So this is a wild, wild run for us. Really enjoying being on this journey with you all. And until next time, I will see you soon.